Whoa! Welcome everybody to the Locker Room Sports. I'm your host, Mike Lauro. Thank you so much again, guys, for joining me. We are here live at your Phillies studios. Guys, I got an action-packed hour for you tonight, man. We're going to be covering the Phillies winning 9 out of 7 games on this current homestand. We're going to take a look ahead. They got some tough ones coming up. The Birds, the 53-man roster, is final. Do you agree with the roster? I definitely have some questions about some of the people that made the team. We're going to get into that as we touch base on that. Another subject that I have for you guys, and I want everybody's input on this if you're watching. Which NL team is the biggest choking team? The Atlanta Braves or the Los Angeles Dodgers? I want you guys to chime in on that. I have both of their playoff records here, and you guys are going to be really surprised out of all the chances that these two teams had and just how little they have come through. So, again, bump in, guys. So, the first thing we're going to start off with tonight is our boys. That's right, the Phils. When they take 7 of 9 at home in this current homestand. They lose one of the games against the Giants, lose the finale against the Angels, swept the Cardinals right on out of here. They did what they were supposed to do. They beat bad teams. San Francisco was kind of free-falling before they got here. The Angels are a traveling wreck, and St. Louis is just worse than they are. So, coming up, this past homestand, all I got to say is this. Trey freaking Turner, man. Trey Turner. Well, thank you there, mother-in-law. My mother-in-law's checking in the show. Also, the home foreman, my wife. Thank you very much, dear. But, getting back into this homestand, Trey Turner was unbelievable in this homestand for the Phillies. Ever since the standing ovation, you really got to give this fan base some credit. If this was 20 years ago and they were at the Vet, Trey Turner would have been booed out of his mind, and we wouldn't have thought nothing of it. One guy I want to give a little shout out props to with this. Okay, I got to give the Philly captain some love. Okay, Big John from Bridesburg. We're from the same neighborhood, me and John. I'll tell you what, the Philly captain, I strongly suggest you go check out his YouTube page. He's great. He was the guy who started this whole spearhead about giving Trey Turner a standing ovation instead of booing him and getting on his back. He was the guy who came in on his channel, on his YouTube channel, way before WIP and 97.5 decided they wanted to talk about it. John was the guy who spearheaded this. Okay? And I think he deserves a lot of credit because he was the guy who got out in front of this. He was the one that spearheaded this. And you know what? If it turns Trey Turner's season around, will the national media bring this story up? I don't think so. I think there's always been a vendetta against Philadelphia when it comes to the national media. Okay? I'll give you just a brief little thing, and then we got some comments I'm going to get to. This past weekend, okay, 49ers and Broncos. Now, these clown 49er announcers who said, oh, this place is the worst place. Oh, Philadelphia this and Philadelphia that. And they made the song Cry Eagles Cry because they're still butthurt from the ass whooping the 49ers got in the NFC title game. Did you see the fight in the stands? I'm talking about a full-blown melee at a preseason game. I'm going to be real honest with you. I can't remember the last time I saw a fight down at the link. But yet, we're the bad ones. If that fight would have been at the link on Thursday, it would have been national headlines. But because it's Philadelphia, or because it's not Philadelphia, they decide to let it go. You don't hear nothing about it. It's a joke. But if this Trey Turner thing, if Trey Turner turns his season around and becomes what we thought we were getting when we signed him, and it turns it around, I'm sorry, but I think the national media, they have to pick it up because you're talking about an entire fan base over a weekend gave this guy a standing ovation to get him going, to let him know, yo, we know you're going to be here for the next decade. We got your back, man. Let's go. Pick it up. We know you can pick it up. And what did he do? He started performing, and he hasn't stopped since. That's very good for the Phillies. Very, very bad for the Atlanta Braves. Trey Turner is a Brave killer. Guys, I got some comments. Our boy, the John himself checking in. My guy, make sure you check him out every Monday night, 6 o'clock over on Out of the Box Network, the Sully Squad, him, Fuji, Kilrain. Make sure you give them guys a listen. They are awesome. Diego, too, Mr. 6 for 6. Damn, I almost forgot Diego. So I know me and Diego are probably going to go at it a little bit because he keeps throwing Carson Strong in my face. All right, yeah, I made a damn wrong pick, but he better back my butt up when it comes to Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon should have made this football team. We're going to hear about that. We got Jess checking in. Jessica, thank you so much. Go Phillies. Yes. Another member of the Sully Squad. Mike Fuji, what's going on, Fuji? Big Mike, what's good? Happy Friday Eve. Yes, it is. Holiday weekend is upon us, guys. College football on tonight. I actually got the place for tonight. I got some plays for tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. So, it's for entertainment purposes only, but we're going to check and see about throwing some shillings. And maybe if you want to put some shillings down, maybe a little extra shillings in the side there to put in the cupboard. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. But right now, guys, like I said, we've been hammering on this homestand by the Phillies. And I'll tell you what, this team, the only issues I'm having right now is the issues that we had a year ago, which was the back end of the bullpen. They're starting, to me, Kimbrel looks like he's starting to get a little worn down. And I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about it because I want to see what happens with him going forward. I also want to, I want Alvarado, Alvarado coming back. He's got to get his timing down as well. So I'm looking to see how this is going to play out. Sir Anthony's been horrible, and he has not looked like the Sir Anthony that we've seen from a year ago. The only blessing in disguise is that the Phillies have 6 starters. So one of these starters are going to go into the pen, which will probably be Christopher Sanchez, which I'm okay with. I think Christopher Sanchez has been solid all year. Nice to see Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler come back around the form a little bit. Wheeler looking dominant on Saturday. Nola comes right back out right behind him on Sunday looking nasty. Now, if we can get Ranger and Taiwan, get them 2 guys back going, and then you also got Michael Lorenzen. He's been kind of, but there's our boy Dibes checking in. He says, great show, dude. Excited about Utah versus Florida tonight? Yes, I am. It is revenge for the Utes. I'm calling it. They're spanking the Gators tonight out there in Utah. That's one of my picks. So, yeah, I am definitely excited. I will not be staying up watching that game, but I will try to catch some of it when I am done here. So, with that being said, I am definitely, like I said, let's get back onto this Phillies thing here. They start an important road trip starting this weekend. They go to Milwaukee for 3 games. And to me, this is a big series. Milwaukee's got good pitching, very good young pitching. They can hit. Their time to hit. They play a lot of small ball. They're a good team. They just had a tough series with the Cubs. Now the Phillies are coming in. So we're going to see what this Milwaukee team is made of. The Phillies got a nice, comfortable lead. Man. They got a 5-game lead right now in the wild card. So they got a nice, comfortable lead, but you don't want to give it back. And if you're looking at it, basically, they go to Milwaukee for 3. After Milwaukee, they go back out to the West Coast. They go play San Diego for 3. San Diego's kind of gotten I think San Diego's done. I think they're pretty much waiting. They're going to regroup and see what they're doing. There's some news regarding the Phillies, too, that I read today online. I believe it might have been Sports Illustrated online, was reading something about Josh Hader might be a target for the Phillies in the offseason. I would love that. But anyway, so they're on the road for those 6 games. When they're done those 6 games, they come home. They have 3 with the Miami Marlins, and then a very big 4-game set here in South Philadelphia with those Atlanta Braves. So with that being said, I was kind of going over it and just taking a look at, where do you guys see this series starting off in Milwaukee? Do you think the Phillies can take 2 or 3? That's what I have them doing. I have them taking 2 or 3 this weekend. I believe they can. They kind of owe the Brewers, too. The Brewers kind of came in here and slapped the Phillies around earlier this year, too. So the Phillies have been really good at getting kind of revenge on teams that kind of beat up on them earlier in the season. For the Dodgers, instantly, like the Dodgers swept them out there. The Phillies kind of pounded them here. Should have swept them, but they got, they ended up going 2-4 against the Dodgers. But, I would like to see them. I'd like to see them take 2 or 3, basically just on the road trip, the full road trip. Go 4-2 on this road trip. Come home, get your mind right, get ready for this Miami Marlins team, who is they're falling. They are in free fall mode, and you're catching them right at the right time. And to be honest with you, I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what goes on with these guys. I really can't. So with that being said, I'm really looking forward to the homestand, the next homestand coming. I think if you saw what happened in this homestand and how jacked up this place was, now you got division rivals coming in. You got Miami and Atlanta coming in. That Atlanta series going to be a hot ticket, guys. You definitely have 4 games in 3 days. That's going to be a really good series. Here we go. Mike Fuji says 4 of 6 on the road trip coming up. All right, Mike's saying 4 of 6. Mike, I agree with you. I do. I think they can take 4 of 6 from these next 2 teams, especially. Oh, he must not be stuffing his face. He must have ate dinner already. My broadcast partner on Sunday is now checking in. Here he is. If Craig Kimbrell is starting to fall asleep at the wheel, what's plan B coming out of the pen? Plan B coming out of the pen will be Jose Alvarado. That's the way it's been. I actually think, to be honest with you, I think they should go back to Sir Anthony. If Kimbrell starts falling apart, I think Sir Anthony felt a lot more comfortable being in the closer's role, but we know how Topper is. Topper likes to switch up with the matchups. So, and also, let's not sleep. I mean, the Phillies have some decent guys who can close. I mean, Strom can close. So, I mean, it doesn't – I like the fact that the Phillies got a little bit of a mystery to them. Now, I know Pat's not sold on it because Pat and along with the show-stopping cowboy lover, they need to go get a tent together because they're so scared of the Atlanta Braves. Stay tuned, Pat. We're going to talk about those Atlanta Braves and those Los Angeles Dodgers and why, if you're a Phillies fan, you shouldn't be worried about them. You should respect them. Definitely don't worry about them because history is on your side when it comes to this. So we will definitely talk into that. Question for you guys. Do you think the division is over? With the Phillies having literally 7 games against the team that's in front of them, do you think the division is over? Now, Atlanta's got a pretty solid September as well. I did see that on the MLB Network. They kind of flashed their schedule. I forget some of the teams that they play, but I know they play Florida. I believe also they have another series with Milwaukee coming up. I think they got to go to Wrigley too. So, I mean, they got to play teams that are in this playoff contention as well. So, I don't know. Like, is it going to be? Will the Phillies have a chance? Will there be any September magic? Maybe like there was in 07 when the Mets were up like 8 games with like 13 left to go, and we watched them squander away. I think that Atlanta's a little better, or not little. They're a lot better. They're a good team. The one race I'm interested in saying, I want to see Kyle Schwarber catch Matt Olson. And that's something I think can happen in September going into early October. I think he can catch him. I mean, he has just been on a tear, batting, I think his last, 12 games or something, he's batting like 286. I mean, his on base percentage is over 1,000. The guy is just on a roll, man. So, I mean, with this Phillies team, man, you really got to give them. You got to give them their due. And you know what else you got to give your due to? If you're dying, you got those big series coming up with the Marlins and the Braves. You want to go, right? Well, if you want to go, this is where you go.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about Sherry's Tickets. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less and play more with Sherry'sTickets.com. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. Do not pay hidden fees and save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller and get those hard-to-come-by tickets to the big game? If you need a more personal touch, give them a call at 610-494-5050. That's 610-494-5050. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great theater and concert tickets that are hard to get your hands on. Remember, do not overpay and save with the best at Sherry'sTickets.com. Save 10% using the promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. You'll thank us later. Sherry'sTickets.com.
Here we go. My broadcast partner must have a sausage stuck up his nose. Wake up, Mike. The Braves are going to light up this pitching staff. The offense can only bail you out for so long. Jesus Louises, Pat. I love you. I love you. But go buy a dog. Go buy a dog. Go get Cowboy Dave. You and him go tent. Go get a tent and go camping. Don't even come around in October. Oh, my God. Are you serious? This is why. And you know what, Pat? I love the fact that you brought this up. I love the fact that you brought this up because we're going to move into our next segment, man. We're going to move into this next segment, and this is the next segment. Right there. Who's the biggest postseason choke team? Atlanta or the LA Dodgers? Who is it? I'm going to go over some stuff with you guys. There's a little research I did. Literally, got home from work today, pulled it up on the computer, started doing some research for tonight. Because I really wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. Because I feel like these two teams, and I said it on Sunday when I was sitting across from Pat. I said it last week here on this show. Okay? The LA Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves, they're the biggest choke team in the National League. They're the biggest choke teams. They get into the postseason. They do. They are regulars in the postseason. Can't win to save it their life. And and I know Atlanta and LA both just won recently. And I chalk that up to every blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes. Hell, the Phillies won a World Series in 2008. I know my team. But Jesus, these Braves, these guys that are so scared of the Braves, we're going to go over the Braves right here, right now. 1991. First year that they got back into the postseason. Went to the World Series. Lost to the Minnesota Twins. 92. Lost 4-2 to the Toronto Blue Jays. 93, we all know what happened in 93 because we all lived it. 95, end up winning the World Series. That's their first World Championship. 96, went back to the World Series, lost to the Yankees 4-2. 97, lost to Florida in the National League Championship Series, 4-2. 1998, NLCS, again, lost to the San Diego Padres. There's my boy Foods to hell with Atlanta. I agree with you. Every time, you ever take notice? That chop looks really good until it hits October, and then all of a sudden the elbow gets tendonitis, and it just stops. It's the Atlanta Braves, man. Where were we at? 98. 98. They lost to San Diego 4-2 in the NL Championship. Again, didn't win the ultimate prize. They've only won it once so far in 8 years. Next year, 99, losing the World Series again. This time they get swept out by the Yankees. So that's 1 in 8 years. 2000, they lost to St. Louis in the NLDS. Okay, didn't even make the NLCS. They lost in the DS. They got swept out by the Cardinals. 01, they got smoked in the NLCS by Arizona. 02, they lost in the NL Divisional Series. Again, not the NL Championship Series, the Divisional Series. They lost 3-2 to San Francisco. 03, 3-2 to Chicago. 04, they lost to Houston when Houston was in the National League. 3-2. These are all NLDSs right here. The very next year, 05, they lost 3-1 again to the Houston Astros. You starting to see a pattern here, guys? I'm bringing up a pattern. This is going from 1990. Okay, 1990. I'm not finished. It gets better. Okay, let's see here. Lost 3-1 in the division series again to the San Francisco Giants. Lost to the St. Louis Cardinals in 2012. They lost in the wild card game. Lost to the Dodgers 3-1 in 13. Lost to the Dodgers again 3-1. Both divisional series. Again, not an NLCS, divisional series. 20, lost to the Dodgers in the NLCS. They made one. 21, they win the World Series. That's 2. Last year, we all know what happened. They go up against the Phillies, got smoked 4-1 in the NLDS. I'm looking back at this. This is 31 years of Atlanta Braves baseball. 22 playoff appearances. 2 World Series. I'm going to reiterate this again. Pat, I hope you're hearing me. The Atlanta Braves, 31 years, 22 playoff appearances, 2 World Series. They choke worse than you sucking on a ham bone. And that's just them. Now we're going to move on to the team out on the Western Coast, who's also one of the biggest choke teams ever. And I'm going to start from their last World Championship, 1988. They beat the Oakland A's 4-1. They win the World Series in 88. They don't see the playoffs again until 1995. They lose to Cincinnati 3-1 in the NL Divisional Series. 96, they lose to Atlanta 3-0 in the NLDS. 04, they lose to St. Louis 3-1 in the NLDS. Starting to see a pattern here between these two teams? 06, they lose to the Mets in the League Divisional Series. All divisional losses right here. 08, they make it to the NLCS. We already know what happens. The Phillies smacked them around. Mike, look at the resume. A bunch of postseason runs. That's it. Mike, look at. That's it. No, Pat. I mean, if you want to go back from there, yeah, you can say that. That's fine. But again, I'm not talking about the Phillies. At least when the Phillies get in, the only year that they didn't get to an NLCS was 11. Every other year they've gotten to an NLCS. 93, they went to the World Series. 08, went to the World Series. 09, went to the World Series. I mean, Atlanta's going to a lot of World Series too. They've choked. This is 22 playoff seasons out of 31 years, Pat. I'm sorry, if you get 22 chances to win something, you got to win more than 2. And they were the most dominated team in the old NL West. And then when they moved to the East, they had a 15-year run. They won 1 World Series in that 15 years. I'm sorry. No, they choke. They're a choke artist. Let me get back over to these Dodgers. 08, they lose to the Phillies in the championship series 4-1. We already knew that. The next year, 09, Phillies beat them again 4-1. Which, by the way, Dodgers haven't beaten the Phillies in the postseason since 77. 13, they lose to St. Louis 4-2 in the NLCS. 13, I'm sorry. 14, they lose 3-1 to St. Louis in the divisional series, so they don't even get back. 15, they lost to the Mets division series, 3-2. 16 lost to the Cubbies in the NLCS, 4-2. 17, they get to the World Series through the Dodgers. They lose to Houston. We all know what happened there. 18, they lose. They get back to the World Series again. Now, this is another World Series appearance. They lose to Boston 4-1. 19, again, they get to the NLDS and the Nationals spank them on their way to winning the World Series. 20, COVID-shortened season. Dodgers are the best team. They win it. 21, they lose to Atlanta in the NLCS. And 22, they lost to San Diego. So I'm looking at this right here for the Dodgers. It's 34 years playoff time. Okay. 17 playoff appearances, 2 world championships. I can deal with that a little bit better than Atlanta. Atlanta's got over 20 appearances. That's why I put Atlanta up here. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys put Atlanta up there as the biggest choking team in the National League? Because I do. And that's why I'm not worried about playing them. I felt great last year when the Phillies got matched up with them. Of course, my partner, you know, he's got springs on the bottom of his feet. He hops on and off. We all know this about Pat. Love him to death, but man, my man should have springs on the bottom of his feet because he's on and off. And right now he's off. Right now he sees this Atlanta team, and they are playing good. But like I said, this right here, it stops when October hits. It's just frozen, man. The Dodgers, like I said, 34 years. Half of those years they made the playoffs. Half of those years. That's damn good. 34 years you make it 17. That's damn good. And I'm going to give it to Atlanta and to the Dodgers. They got great farm systems. The reason why I think these guys, their farm systems are unbelievable. A guy will leave. Another guy's waiting right there just to take his place, man. It's just plug and play. And you got to give those organizations credit. Organizationally, they're good. Postseason, there is a stigma around both of those franchises that I can't put my finger on. I'm sorry, but between the Braves being there 22 times and the Dodgers being there 7 times to have 4 World Series combined, no, I'm sorry. Those teams should have had more. And I'll tell you what, a few of those Atlanta teams that lost in the World Series were definitely the favorites. Like the first one when they played against the Yankees in '96, they were defending champions. They were the better team. The Yankees beat them, but they were the better team on paper. It just goes to show you, paper doesn't always win. That's why I'm not worried about either one of these teams when it comes to the postseason. Hell, we don't even know. The Dodgers could get taken out by the Cubbies or whoever's in that 3rd spot, whether it be Arizona, whether it be Cincinnati. The Dodgers could get taken out. They did last year. Think about that for a second. Think about that for 1 second, man. The 2 teams, it was the Padres and the Phillies that were the last 2 wildcard teams, and they played for the NLCS last year. 200-win teams went adios. The Dodgers, adios. You know, and I'm going to say same thing about the American League, too. The American League's not all what it's charmed up to be either. It's basically, you know, Tampa is doing really well over there. You have Baltimore doing well. I hope the O's go really far. That's one franchise who's been getting their tail kicked in year after year. And just like when the Royals went and they beat the Mets, I loved it because I wanted to see the Royals win. If my Phillies can't get it done, I want to see the O's get it done. Now, if it's the Phillies and O's in the World Series, it's great because it's an hour and a half from here to Baltimore. So we can go back and forth. It'd be great. Got a comment coming up here from our boy Mike Fuji. He says, no team in the NL scares me. The Phillies should be worried about these other teams. This Phillies team gets down, and this lineup from the top to the bottom picks each other up. Harper is on a mission. You can see the fire and passion out of him. I do believe Harper's on a mission. I think him getting a taste of being in that World Series, because you got to remember, he wasn't on that Nationals team. He that was his first year here in Philly when the Nationals won. So he only the only I guess you could say the only playoff stuff that he had, man. The only playoff that he had was literally just a couple playoff appearances with the Nationals, and they didn't get far. Matter of fact, I think they got eliminated in the division series. So he didn't know anything about going into the NLCS. But you see, he's hungry, and I'll tell you another guy who's looking real hungry too, and that's one Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber has been. It looked like them two were starting to click, and I'll tell you what. If JT Realmuto shows up at all, as far as bat wise, he's starting to hit the lumber now. All these guys that were carrying this team, the babysitting club or the baby club or whatever they call it, but Stott and Bohm and this lineup is going to be so hard to get out. It really is. But you know what else is hard to get out?
All right, guys, let's talk about Cherry Law Firm. If you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, you got to call David R. Cherry of the Cherry Firm. Call 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your rights. Again, that number is 610-565-0300. That's 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your right.
Mike Fuji comment and says Trey Turner as well. Yeah, Mike, I was talking about Trey, man. I don't know if you caught it or not in there. But I'll tell you what, man. To me, like I said, this is all going to come down. I had to bring this up about these two teams. Excuse me. In the National League because I'm tired of hearing about them. They're great. They are great from April to October. That fall crisp air hits, man. It does something to them. Now sometimes they get to where they got to go. They just don't bring it home. And like I said, I feel like the last decade it's been one or the other getting to the World Series. Or like I said, a constant shoo-in. 17 playoff appearances for the Dodgers, and I believe I just said 22, right? 22 playoff appearances for the Braves. I'm sorry. You guys could get there that much. You got to have more than two. You guys got to have more than two. Yeah, and I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. You're there that often. You got to be able to bring it home a lot more than that. And to me, it just seems like they're really good at being good in the regular season. Well, the Phillies proved last year, you don't need 100 wins. You just need to get to the dance. And you got to be hot going there. With this Phillies team starting to pick up momentum. Like I said, the Braves got a little bit of a rough patch too in September. Mets are playing spoilers. Mets don't care who wins the division. I know they got some games left with the Mets, so do we. You got to take it as you take it, man. So, but we're going to move on a little bit here. The Birds, this right here has gotten me heated. I just don't know, man. I really don't. I'm looking at the depth chart for this Eagles team. And they're showing me the roster, and I'm looking at it. By the way, to the person who answered my Atlanta Braves Dodgers question on Facebook last night and wanted to mention that I was the guy that said Trey Turner was going to make this team. Yeah, I did say that. And Trey Turner technically is still part of the Eagles. If you haven't heard, he's injured. And so if the Eagles are going to get rid of him, they got to buy him out. So let's wait and see. They may not buy him out. So if they don't buy him out, he's technically on the Eagles. So for the lame brain who tried to answer a Braves-Dodgers question with trying to take a poke at me, do your research before you try to come at somebody. Rashad Penny. I don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't see it. I know what he did with Seattle. He was a beast out there. This guy can't stay healthy. And now you're sitting here looking. I watched the preseason. I didn't see nothing special from Rashad Penny. I really didn't. I saw more out of Trey Sermon. I'm talking about good things than bad things. Yeah, Trey had a fumble. But he also carried 3 guys into the end zone behind a crappy offensive line. Now, what I would like to see, if they do give Sermon a chance, if he does heal up and he does stay with the Birds, I'd love to see him run behind this offensive line. He did twice last year in the Jacksonville game. Damn near won me $1,000. I took him to score a touchdown in that game. I was pissed when they pulled him out. So, this Eagles, but to me, like the running back, another thing too that got me too, like, I'm sorry, like, I understand you have Zacchaeus, who's a local guy. You mean to tell me you don't think Greg Ward's not better than Quez Watkins? I think he's a lot better. And now it was cool they brought him back on the practice squad. But like, are you serious? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm over Quez Watkins. Like, Quez is going to have to prove a lot to me. Like, maybe like when you get thrown the ball, you catch it. I mean, he is a wide receiver, right? You know? But then again, Jalen Reagor got cut. I hope he ends up on the Cowboys. That would be great. Send him down there. Pause. Diet Pepsi, not a sponsor. Needs to be. Like Fuji saying that not liking the depth at wide receiver. Me neither. I like Zacchaeus. I think he's a hell of a receiver. Played in Atlanta last year. Had a really good season with them. And but I'll tell you what, the one thing I was real happy about were the linebackers. Christian Ellis. Okay. Where's the other linebacker? Left end. Oh, they got Nolan Smith. Okay, they got Nolan Smith backing up. This is odd. I'm actually looking at the Eagles roster right now. 4 wide receivers. I don't get why not. 4 wide receivers. One other veteran as a backup. I think that's why they brought Fuji. I think that's why they brought back Greg Ward. I think he's going to get a little bit more playing time than people think, because I don't see Quez making it a full year. He gets banged up real quick. Sean Bradley on IR. Zach Cunningham's going to start next to Nakobe Dean. I like that. Christian Ellis made the team, as he should have. I'll tell you what, I'm looking at this starting 4 is unreal on the defense. Brandon Graham, Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat, Zach Cunningham, Nakobe Dean, Hassan Reddick, Bradbury. They got Terrell Evans. I'm sorry. I think Justin Evans should be starting over him again. That's another one. Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown. I don't mind that, but I'd like to see Sidney Brown. If you're going to do like a dime package or a hybrid package, I'd like to see Sidney Brown come in, and then you put Reed up in the box, and I think that would look really, really good. Darius Slay, Keely Ringo. Eli Ricks is the 3rd backup to that. Also, defensive tackle. Milton Williams, Jordan Davis are 2nd string, along with Patrick Johnson, Derek Barnett, Marion Tupelo, and Katavius Street are all there. And Ajobo, Mario Goodwich, and Zach McPherson's out. So if you take a look, looks like kick returner is Boston. It's going to be Boston Scott. Quez Watkins will be your punt returner this year. That's kind of interesting. You only got 4 wide receivers, and you're going to put Boston Scott. I mean, you're going to put Quez Watkins back there. 2nd string special teamers for punt returner is Zacchaeus. 3rd is Devontae Smith. Kick returners Kenny Gainwell, Quez Watkins. You already know who your long snapper and kicker are. My whole thing is just punter. What is up with this kid that got cut from the Bills? Apparently, he's probably like the best punter out there working. He got caught up in some off-the-field stuff. Was cleared of it. Didn't get any charges brought against him. Name got cleared and everything. And, I don't know why I don't know why the Eagles won't bring him in. They need a punter. Like Aaron Siposs, I don't want to see that dude kick a ball ever again. He was horrible. Yeah. Fuji brought it up. It's a rape case. I understand, but he was cleared. He was cleared of a rape case. And, I just feel bad for the kid. He's being, to me, it looks like he's kind of being, I guess kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know. I guess he's being, crucified for something that he was clearly, he was cleared. So I don't know why they just won't go after him. I believe his name is Matt Ariza. He's a punter. And he's one of the best ones. The Bills cut him because they thought he was guilty. So they cut him. So I don't know, man. I don't know. To me, I think it's all BS. It's all BS. Quick question for you guys. Opening days a week from Sunday. How you guys feeling? Are you worried about Coach B, Billy B? Are you worried about him? Do you think the Eagles are going to struggle out the gate? Or do you think the Eagles' offense comes out and explodes? I do believe New England's got a pretty decent defense. I think where the Eagles have them is they have a better offense. Mac Jones is going to be constantly under pressure. And Bill likes trading offensive linemen for some odd reason. I think if they get too high in money over there somewhere up there, Bill just got to get rid of them, man, because he's forever flipping. He's forever flipping, offensive linemen over there, man. So how are you guys feeling? I'm really excited. I think this could be a start of a great year. I do have the Eagles making the NFC title game, and I have them making it against the Dallas Cowboys. I think we get Eagles-Cowboys 3 times this year. I think we're blessed with that. And I certainly would love it because it brings out the best in both fan bases. They don't like us. We don't like them, and we kind of like it that way. So, but that's what I have going for those two. I forget who I picked I forget who I picked last week. I have my notes around. Just not with me. I when I'm done, I take them out my book and put them aside. So I got to look and see who I picked again. I forgot who I picked for the AFC. I believe I picked Cincy. I think I picked Cincy and somebody. But I think I had Cincy going. I think my ultimate Super Bowl was Eagles-Bengals. So my friend Shane would love that. He's a Bengals fan. But I got a question for you, though. When the big game is on, right? If you want to go down, the game already in New England sold out. But say you want to do another trip. Well, I'll tell you what, guys.
All right, guys, if you're a Philly sports fan and you want to travel with your favorite team, then travel with the best. Go to phillysportstrips.com. They have self-travel packages and full travel packages available with round-trip flights from the Philadelphia airport. Packages include direct flights, 4-night stays, all-inclusive tailgate parties, lower-level group tickets. Whatever you want, you got it with phillysportstrips.com. If you want to travel to an upcoming Phillies game, make sure you check out Philly Sports Trips. And do not forget, Philly Sports Trips has all the away trips for the Eagles' upcoming 2023 season. Jump on it now because you do not want to lose out on all these great opportunities. Go to phillysportstrips.com.
And this right here, guys, this is the next biggest one right here. Tampa Bay, Monday Night Football. God, man, you have to go, man. Go over to Philly Sports Trips. I will tell you this right to you guys. I was very fortunate a year ago. I did the Washington trip a year ago. I'm looking to either do the Washington trip again or hopefully do the do do the Jets. One of the two I would like to do. So either which one, but guys, just the tailgate alone was worth the price. The tailgate, you get a 2.5 hour tailgate before the game. I mean, you want to talk about it's like all your favorite tailgate food is there, your favorite tailgate beverages, adult and non-adult beverages. You can't beat it. Um, like I said, for trips down to the Meadowlands and down to DC, it's a bus ride, man. It's a bus ride. And the bus ride, you're getting prepped up on the way down there, man. The beers are flowing, man. And I'll tell you what, I had a great time last year with that. Like I said, got to go and take a look. Maybe might do one. I might do one at the end of the year. I don't know yet. If I can't do it in the beginning, but I'm definitely going to get on one of these ones. So whether it be the Giants, the Jets, or the Washington Commanders, one of those three I would love to get to. But guys, go and take a look. And if you're wondering about home games, yeah, they have them too. Very low price, man. Very low price. They have it at Life Casino. Go to Philly Sports Trips, man. You will not be disappointed. Myself, Joe Sullivan, we're trying to get down there for the Eagles home opener, man. Paul Spencer checking in, my buddy. Checking in from Out of the Box Sports. Paul Spencer, what's going on? He said, what's up, buddy? You watching Florida, Utah tonight? Thoughts? Going to be a good NFL season, especially the NFC East. Definitely believe that, Paulie. I believe 3 teams from the NFC East, the same 3 that got in a year ago, get in again. I believe the Giants are that much better. I am definitely looking forward to Utah, Florida tonight. I think Utah's get a little bit of revenge for what happened a year ago down at the Swamp. I think they put a beating on Florida tonight. Love Utah tonight. And I think the season's going to be really good, Paul. I really do. I love a lot of the matchups without my team. A lot of matchups coming up. We get the first ever Black Friday game. How about that? You get 3 football games on Friday or on Thanksgiving. I'm sorry. You get 3 football games on Thanksgiving. Then the NFL throws you a bone and gives you another one right there, Black Friday, along with college football. I mean, what, as my partner Pat would say, what's better than bird and ball? You get to watch it. Man, I've been around him too long. I really got to, I need a vacation from him, or he needs one from me, one or the other. I'm starting to quote him now. This is bad, people. This is really bad. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. As a matter of fact, Paul, my next segment on here, we're going to dive into my picks that I have going for this weekend. And we're going to start with tonight's games. As a matter of fact, we're going to click over to that now because this is our last one right here, college football picks. Guys, again, this is for entertainment purposes only. Take your shillings, okay? Paul says, damn, I'm the lone wolf taking Florida outright. Oh, can't wait. Can't wait. Don't be a stranger. You're still family, my guy. Always to see for you. Paulie, thank you so much. Much love to you, man. Guys, I know if you're watching me, you're not a Dallas Cowboy fan, but if you want to watch something with insight on the Dallas Cowboys, Matt Klein, Paul Spencer, Dave Yarnell, tune in over at Out of the Box every Wednesday night. They will have something. I like to watch other people's shows because I want to hear what's going on, especially within the NFC East. My own son does a Giants show with Danny. So make sure you check it out. And I do believe now there is a Washington Commanders show over there too. So they have the whole NFC East covered. So if you want to find out what's going on outside of Philadelphia, what going into an Eagles Commanders game or an Eagles Cowboys game, pop a note over there. See what the other side's saying. You never know. You might hear something that could do something. I don't know. Get you fired up. Appreciate you, Paul. Thanks for checking in, my brother. These are my college football picks, guys. I'm going to start with tonight's games real quick. I love NC State tonight, minus 14. If you want to put a little shillings on those, I love NC State, minus 14.5. I don't see UConn hanging around in that game. I took Minnesota money line straight up. 7 points to me was kind of too high, but Nebraska's too unstable for me. They really are. They're too unstable. They may be able to cover. They may not. They're playing Minnesota in Minnesota. I just took Minnesota with the underline, with the money line. And I also have Utah -4.5 revenge. I know Paul's the lone wolf on this one. He'll be howling if they win. If not, we'll be counting shillings in the bank for tonight. Tomorrow, another 4-game set. Miami, the Battle of Miami. Who would have thunk it this early in the season? Hurricanes host Miami of Ohio down there in Miami, Florida. Canes -17. Canes all day. That's a home game. Michigan State -14.5. I took them. One of my upsets, Georgia Tech at home getting 7.5. I think Georgia Tech will hang in there. I don't think they'll win, but they're not going to lose by 7.5. And of course, I think a layup game here. Hawaii at home, hosting Stanford. Stanford's a 3-point underdog. Stanford's a 3-point favorite. Take the Cardinals. Hawaii's one of the worst teams. I know they almost pulled an upset a week ago. They're one of the worst teams in college football. Believe when I tell you that. Go with Stanford. I think Stanford wins this one, given the 3 points. Saturday, again, I got some really good ones. I mean, some of these are no-brainers. I'm going to start out. I'm going to take those Temple Owls at home at the link, -10 against Akron. Akron's not coming in here, and the Owls are going to beat them by more than 10. Ball State getting 26.5 points. Take that. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. Utah State +23.5. Damn right, that's right. I jumped all over that as well. Tennessee -27.5. They're at home. They are going to destroy. I believe they're playing. Yeah, I have it up. Oh, well, whoever they're playing, Tennessee's going to wipe the floor with them. I got TCU -20.5. And one that I kind of got, I saw it. It's BC. I took BC -8.5 in their game. So they're my picks for the week. By all means, do yours. Let's meet back here next Thursday, and we can discuss how you guys made out. Next week, not only will I have college, I'll also be getting you ready for week 1. I'm only going to do 3 and 3, though. I just ran down this because we have games tonight, games tomorrow, games on Saturday. Oh, and by the way, Saturday night special, Penn State, West Virginia. Take Penn State -20.5. It's not going to be close. Mountaineers are going home with their tails between their legs. Not going to be a good trip to Happy Valley. Drew Allure, James Franklin, and the rest of the Nathan Lions are licking their chops waiting for that defense to come in there. We got another comment coming up here. Gators, NC State Gophers, with the new coaching staff, Rule, Canes, Spartans, through FSU, LSU Sunday night. You know, I like LSU in that one too. I know you don't like. I know Tennessee's playing Virginia. That's going to be a slaughter. That's who it was. The kid that was playing quarterback for Virginia literally just hit the transfer portal, and like they're kind of in flux about who's going to play quarterback for them. I like FSU against Florida State too. I think that I did take the Spartans, did take the Canes. Matt Rule, I know he's in there, but they're not his guys. It's going to take him a minute to get that. That's why I said take Minnesota tonight. I took Minnesota money line, so I didn't lay the points because I am not comfortable with PJ Fleck and the way he coaches. So he said Cam Rising is out tonight. Okay. So, guys, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Y'all made my night. Special thanks again to the boys from over at Out of the Box popping in, saying what's up. I want to say thank you once again for checking in. And guys, if you get a chance to go over there, check it out. Me personally, I don't hold grudges. If you like somebody and they're on a different network and I mess with them and I go rock, go Sam. The more you see, the more you know, the more you enjoy. That's what we're here for. So guys, have a good night. God bless. And I will see you in 1 week's time.